What's going on, Knicks fans? Welcome to another edition of Knicks Latest. We have news, baby. We have breaking news to report. Before you do that, make sure you subscribe, drop a comment, like the video. I take your comments. I use them for future shows. Don't want to waste your time. Let's do this. Landry Shamet was signed to a vet minimum deal yesterday. This is exactly what I thought would happen. Now, obviously, other things have happened since then. We'll get into that, but one step at a time here. Landry Shamet, first of all, first domino to fall. He was signed to a vet minimum. This does not surprise me. Once the Knicks were not going to get Ben Simmons, once they moved off of that, this seemed like the logical next step. Bring back somebody who was on the team last year, who can shoot the three, who can defend, who fits that bench rotation if you need him to fit the bench rotation. I think would work well in a Mike Brown offensive system where there's a lot of ball movement and a lot of threes. It seems like the Knicks want to emphasize shooting the three ball. I'll get to the reason why I think that later as well. But it does make a lot of sense, right? Now, the Knicks didn't really have much to work with here. It's not like they could wait on Malik Beasley, who's being investigated by the league now. So we don't even know where that's going. So I think right now this was probably the best move the Knicks could have made with the amount of money that they had. And for the amount of money they had going into the offseason, I think they did really well this offseason. You get Jordan Clarkson, you get Gershon Yabusele, you bring back Landry Shamet. We're going to talk about Malcolm Brogdon in a second. Who knows what happens with all of that. But I think the bench looks so much better than it did last year. Especially, you don't even know what's going to happen with the starting lineup, right? We don't know if Josh is going to come back to the bench. We don't know if Mitch is going to stay on the bench. So, to me, the second unit for the Knicks right now looks so much better. Nothing against DeLon Wright. Nothing against, anybody who came off the bench. Precious Achiuwa last year. This is just a better bench unit. This is a deeper team. I'm not going to be worried, even in the regular season, not going to be worried when the second unit comes in. I don't think there's a need for Mikal Bridges and Jalen Brunson and Josh Hart to be playing 38, 40 minutes a game anymore. Not that I think there was last year, but there's really no need for it now. The Knicks are a deep team, and that's not something they could have said last year. You get Landry Shamet. We don't know how much time he's going to get. We don't know how much in favor he's going to be with Mike Brown, but he does make sense. He's somebody, like I said, can guard the perimeter, can shoot the three, can handle the ball a little bit on the perimeter. You're not going to ask him to be point guard, but you're not going to be petrified when the ball's in his hands. Just, I think, a good signing for the amount of money that they had, and to me, the most logical conclusion out of everything. I think Amir Kofi was somebody who I think the Knicks should have took a shot after. Unfortunately, he went to Milwaukee. And at this point in the game, I think I would rather someone like this than a Russell Westbrook, somebody who's going to demand high usage, somebody who needs the basketball, somebody that defenses are going to sag off of. This just makes sense from a team standpoint. I think Leon Rose made the right move here. Now, I thought that was it for the offseason, but it turns out Leon Rose has much more up his sleeve. Earlier today, the Knicks signed Malcolm Brogdon to a one-year non-guaranteed deal, and this is important. Non-guaranteed deal. He's going to come in. He's going to compete for that last roster spot with Landry Shamet, along with Garrison Matthews, who we'll get to in a second. That's also surprising. I guess it's you couldn't really choose between which one you wanted, so you sign them both and you bring them both into training camp and you have them battle it out. That's fine by me. Or maybe, and Ian Begley was kind of hinting towards this, I'm recording a little later in the day because I was waiting for something to happen maybe, but you can now make a trade with some of the traditional contracts on the roster to make room for both. Because if you think about it, both of them could fit this bench unit, or they could get minutes. You can see a lineup where Malcolm Brogdon's on the court with Deuce McBride and maybe Jordan Clarkson. It'd be small. One of them would have to be the three, but you can maybe justify it. Landry Shamet as well could be in there. One would have to be on the bench, obviously, or one would get less minutes than the other. But it would make this team even deeper, and having Malcolm Brogdon would, pretty much, I don't want to say solve the issue of a backup point guard. I like Tyler Kolek. I know a lot of Knicks fans are not high on him right now. He is a second-year player. I think there's a lot of room to work with over there. But having Malcolm Brogdon, somebody, he did average 12 points per game last year when he was healthy. He's a former sixth man of the year. He's a former rookie of the year. You know what you're getting with him when he's healthy. He is a veteran point guard who can run an offense, who can shoot the three, who can defend. I don't know if he can defend as well as he used to, but who can also defend. And there's no question marks, right? Like there is with Tyler Kolek. With Tyler, we don't know what we're going to get. I know he is a fantastic playmaker. To me, he has the best court vision on the team. He can hit the three when he's hot. Needs to be better on defense. but we don't know what his ceiling is yet. We don't know what type of pro Tyler Kolek is yet. And to rely on him as a backup point guard, I think makes a lot of Knicks fans nervous, and I think, honestly, it makes the front office a little nervous as well. So we'll see if there's a trade here. Maybe Kolek is gone. Maybe Dadier is gone. Somebody you ship off so that you can create cap space for both Brogdon and Shamet. To me, I think that's what the move is here. I think, the Knicks right now are in a win-now situation. It's nothing against Dadier or Kolek, but you will ship off a project or somebody who you don't know is going to develop right away for someone like a Brogdon who can be a backup point guard and someone who can give you big minutes, not just in the regular season, but in the postseason as well. I really think that's where Leon Rose is going here. I think they're going to try to keep both of them and move forward with that. They're going to have to, cut some... They're going to have to cut somebody from the roster. They're going to have to trade somebody. They're going to have to let somebody go, obviously. I don't know who that's going to be. Like I said, maybe Dottie or Kolek, but I do think this is the direction that they're going in. I do. Also, before we close the show, before we finish with the updates, the Knicks signed Garrison Matthews to the training camp deal, which is showing you the direction they want to go. And Garrison Matthews... He's on the Hawks. He's bounced around the league. He's a really good three-point shooter, particularly from the corner. You can tell that the Knicks right now are emphasizing shooting. Mike Brown wants shooting on the roster. They want to be a team that moves the basketball, that shoots threes, that can beat you from there. And I love that, right? Because that's what the modern NBA game is now, right? You have to be able to hit the three. You got to be able to spread the floor. You got to be able, to play 5 out, 4 minimum, and hit threes when you get that. You can't have non-shooters. You can't have too many non-shooters. You just can't. So Garrison Matthews coming in for a training camp workout, I guess, or whatever it is, signifies to me the type of player they're looking for. Now, does he make the team? I don't know. When he was signed originally, it was like, oh, Landry Shamet and Garrison are going to fight for that final spot. But then they signed Brogdon, and it's like, okay, now I really don't know if this guy's going to make the team. But I do think it shows you what type of direction this franchise is going in. And I'm really excited about it. I love what Leon Rose is doing here. You're bringing in 3 people instead of just signing 1 and settling for it. Maybe you're able to attach 2 to the roster and ship somebody out who Mike Brown is not going to use this year or next year. Wave them goodbye, wish them well, start their career somewhere else. But right now, the Knicks have a really big opportunity to win an NBA championship this year, and I don't think Leon Rose and company are taking that lightly. I'm loving what I see. I'm absolutely loving it right now. They got the guy I wanted, which was Landry Shamet. Malcolm Brogdon was the second guy who I wanted them to get. They got him as well. I am thinking, and correct me if I'm wrong, Knicks fans, let me know what you think in the comment section below, but I really do think that they are going to try to find a way to keep both of them on the roster. And what would you do? Would you choose one or the other? Would you try to ship somebody out? Who would you ship out if you were to keep both of them? Do you want to keep both of them? Do you want to keep Garrison Matthews? Is that the wild card here that maybe you think he could be better with the Mike Brown system than anybody else? Let me know what you think in the comment section below. But the Knicks are finally, they're not set, but we know answers now. There's no more speculating. There's no more episodes with me coming on here saying, are the Knicks going to sign Russell Westbrook? We know what we're getting right now with the New York Knicks, and it's making me very excited because when you look at the roster from top to bottom, it is a very deep team. It is a team that I think is the best team in the Eastern Conference, and I think it's a team that should be able to win the Eastern Conference and possibly the NBA Finals. It is a freaking fantastic year to be a Knicks fan. So make sure you subscribe, make sure you like, make sure you drop a comment. I do use your comments, and I do respond to them. Ask me a question, propose a trade, anything of that nature. I really want to hear what you think about Landry, what you hear about Garrison, and what you think about Malcolm Brogdon, and who you think is going to make the roster. Who do you want to make the roster, and who do you want traded? I'll see you tomorrow for the episode. Knicks Latest. Peace.